Beneath the wake of stars. The sea was more than just water to Captain Elian Thorne. It was a vast, unknowable spirit that both cradled and consumed. He had sailed every known channel of the Vireline Ocean, mapped uncharted isles, and weathered the fury of countless storms. But none of that prepared him for the voyage that began with a bottle, green glass, wrapped in kelp, with a silver scroll sealed inside. It arrived at dawn, drifting in the tide beside Elian's anchored schooner, the Starlit Gale. His crew, a hard-worn mix of former pirates, cartographers, and dreamers, gathered around as he unfurled the scroll. It was not a map in the traditional sense, but a spiral of symbols surrounding a single phrase in Old Thalassian: "Follow the breathless current, where stars drown and the sky forgets." Elian's first mate, a woman named Bryn, who once served in the Queen's Sea Guard, warned him to toss the bottle overboard. "Old sea magic," she said, her green eyes narrow. "Nothing good comes from it." But Elian had seen too many strange things to dismiss it. The ocean was not a thing to be feared. It was to be answered. And this was a calling. By nightfall, the sails were drawn, and the Starlit Gale pointed west into waters untouched on any maritime chart. Days passed, then weeks. They sailed beyond the whispering reefs, past coral pillars that hummed with unnatural resonance. Birds ceased following them. Fish no longer leapt from the waves. Even the stars above shifted, forming constellations none could name. Then came the fog. It rolled in at midday, thick and glowing faintly blue. The sea stilled, and the wind dropped to a whisper. Elian stood at the helm with a compass that spun madly in its case, its needle rejecting every direction. They passed islands cloaked in silence, lands not marked by time. On one, statues stood facing the sea, eyes blindfolded by stone. On another, trees bled brine and sang lullabies in a language Elian only remembered from childhood tales. Still, the ship pressed forward. Crew morale thinned. One man, Kelter, leapt into the sea, claiming he saw his mother calling to him from beneath the waves. Another began to forget his own name, repeating only lines from ancient sailors' hymns. Elian began to dream of a great black wave, curling in slow motion across the stars, as if space itself were water, and time merely its tide. Then, in the 37th day, the fog broke. Before them was a circle of calm sea, and at its center, an island shaped like a spiral shell, rising high with cliffs glistening like pearl and caves that breathed mist. They had found Miradorn, the sunken isle of the Siren Wardens. No one knew how it rose again, or why it waited for them. The scroll had not lied. They dropped anchor in the glassy shallows. Bryn, Elian, and 3 others rowed ashore with supplies and weapons, hearts pounding. The sand felt warm and pulsing beneath their boots, as if it were the skin of some vast living thing. No bird sang, no wind blew, only the sound of their own breath, and the occasional distant whisper echoed between the cliff walls. Inside the island's central spiral was a temple, carved from black salt and coral bone. The doors opened for them, though no hand touched them. Within, an ocean without ceiling stretched to the horizon, a sea beneath a sea, and on it floated ships from every age, Viking Drakars, Carthaginian traders, even airships that had crashed from the sky. All drifted without crew, their sails whispering secrets in the quiet wind. Elian stepped forward and found himself aboard a ship made of mirror wood. His reflection looked back at him, but older, salt-worn and tired. It beckoned. He followed. The world beneath the temple was not governed by the laws of tide and time. Here, the dead did not rot. They waited, and they remembered. Elian was shown memories not his own. Great naval battles between sea dragons and forgotten empires. Cities built underwater that thrived for centuries before the sky punished them with fire. He learned the truth behind old myths, that the sea was a vessel for memory, and those who gave themselves to it became part of its soul. Then came the siren wardens. They were not women with fish tails, but beings of water and starlight, whose voices wove the tides. They greeted Elian not as an intruder, but as a successor. "The sea forgets much, Captain Thorn," said one, "but it never forgets those who listen." They revealed the breathless current, an eternal stream that flowed beyond the edge of maps, carrying with it the dreams of the world. Only once every age did it reveal a gate, the mouth of Ulanar, a whirlpool of reversed gravity where sky and sea exchanged places. "The gate will open soon," they said, "but only one who carries true memory may pass." Elian understood then that his journey was not to discover treasure or legend, but to preserve what the sea was losing. For even oceans forget, and the deeper one goes, the darker the things that wake. Bryn refused to go further. "We've seen enough," she said. "We bring back what we've found. Let the sea keep its secrets." But Elian could not. He had to see it through. Alone, he sailed the mirrorwood ship into the whirlpool. Stars spiraled below him, waves curled above, and gravity unraveled. He emerged into a skyless space where whales sang in light, and memories of every sailor who had ever died at sea floated like jellyfish. He saw his father there, lost when Elian was a boy, smiling with pride. He saw Kelta, the crew member who leapt, dancing with a translucent girl made of foam. And then he saw the anchor of ether, the source of the sea's memory, a great relic tethered to every ocean on every world. It pulsed like a heart, and it was breaking. Elian offered himself. His life, his story, his soul. The anchor mended, and the sea remembered. The starlit gale returned alone to the port of Braille Hollow, sails torn but intact, carrying no crew but one final message etched into its mast. "To those who seek, let the tide carry you. To those who listen, the sea will answer." Elian Thorn was never seen again, but in every sailor's dream, on stormy nights when the compass spins and the stars tremble, his name is heard in the waves, and sometimes a green glass bottle washes ashore, holding a silver scroll that whispers in a language older than the wind.